Now, it's thought every year more than 5,000 lives are saved by the cervical cancer screening programme. But attendance rates for the tests are dropping, particularly among Black, Asian and minority ethnic women.
Well, now a GP from Bristol has joined a charity calling for more information to be shared about screening to try and boost those taking up the appointments. Glenda Beard reports.
It was in March 2020, when the world went into lockdown, that Vijaya's world was turned upside down.
They said that I had cervical cancer, which was a huge shock to me because I'd never missed a smear test. Lucky for me, it was stage 1 and they were able to treat it in a pretty straightforward way. But had I not kind of pushed for, extra checks, abnormal bleeding, all these symptoms that you don't really know is linked to cervical cancer, had I not kind of really pushed for that diagnosis, I don't think they would have spotted it.
Now she's campaigning with the Eve Appeal to get more women from minority ethnic backgrounds to attend their cervical screenings.
Attendance at cervical screening is at pretty much a 20-year low. It's been declining quite considerably across all groups, but the numbers are really stark with some of minoritised ethnic community groups.
Research by charity Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust found that 12% of Black, Asian and minority ethnic women had never attended a cervical screening, compared to 8% of white women. And almost a third didn't know that the screening involves checking cells from the cervix to find precancerous abnormalities, compared to 9% of white women. But those findings come as no surprise to Dr. Glenda Beard, who works as a GP in Bristol.
For some people, they're not familiar with what cervical screening is. They don't understand that. It might be something that their family members, their friends haven't had done, and so they don't want to be the first person to take that leap. Lots of people will worry that cervical screening could be uncomfortable, could be embarrassing, and I'd like to reassure people that actually, for most people, it is a painless procedure. It is quick and it is done, and our nurses are very good at helping people feel comfortable and at ease with having that taken.
Abnormal cells in the cervix. Abnormal cells.
There are groups already working to address the imbalance, such as the BME Cervical Screening Project, which invites women from minority communities to learn more about the importance of getting tested.
We've realised over the last few years that a lot of the communities have got barriers. They don't know how important the test is, they don't know much about the test, so it's really trying to provide that education and awareness to encourage people to attend. But also there's a lot of fear and stigma attached to the cervical screening, and it's trying to eliminate some of those and provide that reassurance and education.
Women's cancer charities tell us there's a desperate need for all women to attend their cervical screenings. And getting tested is the only way we'll prevent cervical cancer, claiming even more lives. Glenda Beard, ITV News.